I'm going to talk about the pointing device. So they have a smaller scale model for Mount Rushmore. And what they did is, so they have like the granite here, and they will drill, they'll take the pointing device, they'll say, how deep is that point? And they will drill down to that depth. And then once they take the surface down to that bottom of that hole that they just drilled, then they know they're at the right depth. So that's how they locate it. With a pointing device, they would drill until they got to the right depth. And that depth is determined by the model they have down below. Scale model, they scale it and say, this is how far you're in, so they have a reference point. What I've got here is a pointing device, because I'm making several of these. I made a clay of the corpus for the crucifixes. What I want to do is I want to carve several of these. What I do is because I want the strength, I don't want the grain running the short grain through here. So I want the grain being long and long here and the grain on the torso here. So I will show you my jig that I have for doweling and pinning that. So right now what I'm doing is I am making this like here, and it's got flat surfaces where the arms are going to be attached. Here, let's get the cross out of the way here. So what I need is a reference point when I put this in. So it's got a fixture that holds the head and it holds the feet and holds it pretty tight. I have it referenced where this can't move, and this is my reference board that I bring in my reading device. The reading device, you can have anything. You can just have a bent wire on a block that just moves in. I use this here machinist base here, and because it's got a fine screw adjustment here, and I can articulate it in any direction. So let's say I want to locate the tip of that nose. So what I do is I come in, I have a slot here that this device just fits right in. And then what I do is I'll bring it down. So if you're using a wire or something, you just bend it right down. I tried a wire, and it does work. Has to be a very stiff wire, and you got to bend it a little bit past. So it takes a little working if you're using a wire. But there, I'm touching the tip of the nose now. So what I do is I back this out. Then I put in, this is the same reference. So I make sure this fits in the reference things. So that's in there tight. Then I move this in. And then I will mark right where the nose is. So you see, right now it's not in the center of the head. So what I would need to do now is go back and locate the other side of the head over here. So this one here is still a work in progress. But that's how you locate all the features on the carving off of the original. So you can make the clay yourself, or you can go and buy a Spider-Man or Superman or just a buffalo, anything, and use a pointing device to copy it. That will make a very accurate copy for you. That's the pointing device. My fixture for doing the arms and that is here. So what I have is a 3/16 dowels that I put in. So by putting the arm in, these are just two flat surfaces. And the grain is going this way. I don't have the arms cut out yet on the bandsaw. But if I just glued that without any dowels, it would probably break off, because the grain, I'm almost all in grain and side grain here. So I would like a dowel to strengthen that, so it's not just depending on the glue. Do that, what I do is I have this fixture here that I will put the arm in. So this arm goes in here, and then I've got a hole, and I line that arm up with the top. So it's right up at the top surface. So it's got that depth about about a ½ inch or maybe 3/4. Then I drill, that drill goes right into the arm. Now to line it up on the torso now, I reverse it. So what I do is I've got this block here that raises the body, torso up. So that matches there. I got a pin in the way here. And then this here goes right up into the corner there. So it's referenced right on the head, and this flat side of the body, when I get done carving this, it's going to lay flat up against that surface. And then I come in with the drill from this side. So I'm using the same hole that I used for doing this arm here. So that is lined up. And then to do the other side, I just reverse it. So I'm doing this side here on this side and bringing in that arm there. So that arm gets drilled, and then the torso gets drilled through the same hole coming this side. So that's the fixturing for that. My templates for the body cutting out like this and the profile like that. So that's how I do. I'm doing about 5 of them here. So I need 4, and I'm just doing an extra one.